how much should I charge for my coaching program? I mean, if you think about what everyone else does, don't you just charge $997 for 12 weeks? It always got to end in a 7. Why is that? In this video, I'm going to be talking about pricing for your coaching program, your coaching product. How much should you charge? Should it end in a 7 or another number? And what are the major mistakes you should avoid when pricing up your coaching program? Now, because we are talking about pricing, I've got 7 things to talk about because everything always ends in a 7, and a few bonus things at the end because I couldn't quite squeeze them all into 7 things. And I did a little bit of research into the why things end in a 7, and it's probably not what you think. So we're going to go into that at the end. I've been coaching clients for, let's say, 22 years nearly. Started in 2002-ish, and it's now 2024, filming this video, so that's 22 years. When I first started, my rates were about £50 per month and about £10 for a diet plan. Even adjusting for inflation, that's pretty cheap for all the stuff that I was doing for those clients. And when I closed my one-to-one physique coaching programs, I was charging $12.50 for around about 8 weeks of a rapid body transformation. All the clients that I've worked with in 20 odd years of being a coach, I would say 99% of them got the results they wanted or better. You're never going to get a perfect hit run all the time. That's just the nature of coaching. But I would say that 99% of them did get the results they wanted. They all lost body fat. They all built some muscle. They all improved their habits. They got better bodies. They got better relationships with food and better relationships with their own mind in terms of how they approach food and exercise. So why the price difference? What's the difference between £50 and £1,250 or £600 per month? Well, there's a few things there. My knowledge improves over time, my skills improves over time, I work with more people and I bring on more services, I offer more things for those people, I can get them faster results because I know more stuff. So all that stuff does affect the price, but it's not the only thing. And if you listen to any gurus who are selling you the 10k a month dream, they're always going to say charge $997 for 12 weeks and sell 10 a month. It's easy to get to 10 grand a month. Unfortunately, it's not that easy. And if you've ever signed up to one of those things, you will know that it isn't. You might hit it on the first couple of months, but once you've exhausted all your friends and family and the people in your inbox and the people on your Instagram list, you're going to be starting to fall short very quickly. I have done another video on attracting more of your ideal clients. I'll link it up there, and you can watch that at another time. But let's get into pricing. Okay, so the first mistake that people make with their pricing is that they assume that people won't pay the price that they're charging because they wouldn't pay it, as in the coaches wouldn't pay it. Now, what this means is the coaches have the knowledge that they're imparting to their clients, but because they already possess that knowledge and they are essentially experts in what they're doing, otherwise they wouldn't be coaches coaching other people, they don't see the value in that knowledge. For example, I've been a bodybuilder for a long time, at 25 years, I think, started when I was 17. So I've been lifting weights, eating properly, doing exercise for all that time. I've learned a lot in that time. I know 1,000 exercises, nutrition, how to eat for more muscle, how to eat for fat loss, the best supplements to take, all these different things. I've got a really vast knowledge of that. So if someone comes along to me and says, Tom, I'd like to sell you a program for building muscle and losing body fat, I'd be like, well, actually, I don't need that. I already possess that knowledge. But someone who doesn't possess that knowledge and is really desperate to build muscle and really desperate to lose body weight, they would absolutely pay for that knowledge. And that's what I used to do as a coach. That's what I used to charge. And I used to get very good results for people. And the problem is that coaches, because they've already got that knowledge, they don't see the value in what they're giving out to people. And so they instinctively price their product very low because that's their perception of the value of it. And they even don't believe in that. I've seen coaches charging £50 a month for full one-to-one programs with weekly check-ins, tailored nutrition plans, tailored workout plans, all these different things, which is a lot of work, which means they've got to put in a lot of effort with getting more clients in. They've got to get more clients to generate a decent income, and they're just overworking themselves. But the reason they're pricing their coaching at £50 a month is that that's what they think they would pay for it. And actually, because they've already got that knowledge, they don't believe in the product. And so they find that really hard to sell. And then they're in a problem of, well, I'm pricing it at £50 and no one's buying. Why is that? Because they don't believe in the product themselves, they don't believe in the price. So price your product from the point of view of the person buying that thing. What are they going to get from it? How's it going to improve their life? What's that worth to them? And then you're going to arrive at a product that is priced correctly and you're going to be able to sell it because people are going to interpret that as, oh, this is going to get me the result that I want. So number two, your price will always either be too high for some people or it will either be too low for some people. If it's too high, a lot of the time it's because the person hasn't fully invested in you. They don't believe you have the things in order to change their lives. They don't believe in you as a coach yet, mainly because they probably haven't seen enough of your social proof, haven't had enough contact with you, haven't seen enough of what you talk about and know that you are the right person, you are the expert for them. Sometimes they've been referred to you by someone else who's had a really good result, and this guy refers them to you. They come in, you have an interview with them, and they ask the price, you tell them, and they go, yeah, that's a little bit more than I was expecting. And you can't do anything about that because they haven't had the time to really get invested in you as a coach. When that's happened to me in the past, I always say, that's no problem. Look, here's some stuff about me, how I coach, some previous stuff that I've done. Go and have a look at that. Follow me for a while on Instagram. And when you're ready to come back, we can work together. It might just be that they don't have the money. If your coaching is, say, at the top end, say like $12.50 for 8 weeks like mine used to be, it might be that they just don't have that money and they can't invest into it. If that is the case, please don't say to them, yeah, just get your credit card out and chuck it on that. I've got a real thing with putting people into debt in order to work with me. I'm not happy with that. There are some business coaches who will say, well, people have always got the money. I don't think ethically that's the right thing to do. I mean, it might be that this is going to change their life forever and they're going to get this fantastic physique and do all this other stuff. Great, if that really makes them feel better. But if it's the case that they're then going to be in financial debt, which they can't recover from, which gives them more stress, I'm not really down with that. And you can also price your program too low. I've seen coaches charge £50 for a coaching program and no one buys it. And it's a really good program. They're doing one-to-one coaching, they're doing weekly check-ins, they've got a tailored nutrition plan, tailored workout plan, all this WhatsApp support. All the stuff is there and they are a good coach, they get good results, but they priced it incredibly low. And so people look at it and they go, I don't think that's going to be worth the money. How can it be so low and still get these results? Let's just think about that for a second. If I come up to you in the street and said, hey, I've got an iPhone 15, it's brand new, it's in the box, it was given to me as a present, I don't want it, and I just want to sell it. Do you want it? And you go, yeah, okay, how much? Oh, it's £100. You probably would think, hold on, an iPhone 15 is about £1,000 to buy, or give or take £1,000. And this guy wants £100 for it, brand new, in the box, unopened, nothing wrong with it. The alarm bells are ringing there. And even though it might seem like a good deal, you would probably approach it with some skepticism. You might say, okay, open the box, let's see what's in it. But more than likely, because it's some guy on the street saying, yeah, an iPhone 15 for £100, you'd probably go, do you know what? No, I'm going to take a pass on that. The price seems too low for the value of the product. And if someone is charging too low for their coaching program and someone thinks this is a big problem, I really need help with it, £50 just doesn't sound as if it's almost like throwaway money. It doesn't sound as if it's going to be enough to get me the result that I want. It's probably going to be a waste of money. And so they don't sign up because it's not enough money, that the perception of value is not enough, that they want to spend the money on it. So don't price your program low in the expectation of, well, more people will buy it because it is a low price. That's actually quite opposite the case in a lot of situations. Oh, just quickly, my coach is always telling me that I don't ask people to engage in my content enough. So if you could just put a like if you're enjoying this video, that'd be really helpful. And it would get my coach off my back. Cheers. Okay, so number 3, pricing does not mean hours of your time. It means results got. And this is a very common problem, a very common mistake that coaches make. They look at, okay, how many hours per week do I spend on this person? So if it's a one-to-one call, if they have like a group call, if they spend time adjusting diet plans, all these things, they total it up like a timesheet. And okay, well, that's the hours of my time. My hours are, let's say, £100 an hour. So that's what I'm going to price my program. And that's the wrong way to approach this, because again, people don't really care how long you spend working on their stuff. They care about the result that they get. Here's an example from my own coaching experience. I was working with a mentor a few years ago. It was about £500 a month that he was charging me. We had one call per month, 1 hour call per month. Guy was a great guy, entrepreneur, very knowledgeable guy, very interesting guy. And we had this 1 call a month, 1 hour call a month, where we literally went through everything I needed to do to progress for the next month. He didn't have an online coaching portal. He didn't have an app. He didn't have any of this stuff. He just had this knowledge, which we talked about for the hour. And then over the course of the month, if I needed his help or clarification, I would just WhatsApp him and he would get back to me. And he charged £500 for that 1 hour per month. But that £500, that hour of his time, meant that I was able to increase my revenue in my business by a lot more than that. So I got value from the coaching. I was very happy with the money I paid because of the results I was getting. Now let's say I was paying £200 and I was having 3-hour-long calls every month, daily WhatsApp updates, and he had an app and all these other things, but I got no results from that. I would see that as absolutely no value for money. And that's how your coaching clients are going to look at your coaching. It's what am I going to get for my money? What's the result that I'm going to get? If you can send one person one WhatsApp to say, do this thing and you will lose 30 kilos and gain 10 kilos of muscle, and they did that and got that result, they would happily pay you, let's say £1,000, because it's something they've been trying to do for ages and you've solved it within 10 minutes. So don't price your coaching on the hours you're spending doing something, pricing on the results that you're getting people, because that mentality will also bring you back into how can I get faster results for people, how can I get better results for people and save myself time and still charge more money. And ultimately it'll make you a better coach. Just want to say here on the flip side of that, there's a lot of coaches who are actively trying to reduce how much coaching they do for people and push their prices up, and are actively trying to do less and give less. Don't be one of those people, because those are the people that are taking people's money and not delivering results. Okay, number 4, which sort of follows on from the time for money thing, is that a higher price doesn't mean more stuff. I've seen coaches think, oh, well, I can't increase my coaching prices until I offer my clients more things. So they put all these things into the app. They give all the clients all these other things to do, all these extra bonuses. And while value stacking is a good way to sort of increase the perceived value or perceived value of your coaching, you don't need to add more stuff in order to put your prices up. If you can get faster results for people, then you can put your prices up. If you can show that you get these results for people, then you can put your prices up. You don't need to add more stuff. You should only have the stuff that they really need at that point to get them to the next point, and then add stuff as they need to progress up. Don't just chuck a load of stuff into your coaching program and say, yeah, great, there's so much stuff for the client to do, because what it will do is actually they won't see the value of that. They'll see more work to do, and then they'll go, this is really confusing. There's too much stuff to do in this coaching program. I've paid all this money for it, and I'm not really sure where to start or what to do because there's too many things to do. So that actually the higher price that you're charging for the more stuff then becomes, this isn't value for money because I'm not sure where to start and there's too much stuff to do. So don't make your coaching work for people, as in it feels like work. It should be as easy as possible, so only give them the stuff they absolutely need and charge according to the results you get. Okay, number 5, should you charge upfront or should you have a split product or monthly recurring option? I've got a few ideas about this. Firstly, I do think that too many coaches jump from being into sort of social media, lead magnets, into monthly recurring too quickly, and don't take advantage of the fact that new clients really do need a sort of 8 to 12 week intensive period to get them up to the standard where they can then continue their momentum. And I've talked about this before in other videos where there's 4 key products. So you have your gifts, which is your social media free stuff. You have your lead magnets, which people have to give you an email in order to get. You have a hero or Kickstarter product, which is like an 8-week intensive program to sort of launch them onto your main coaching. And then you have your monthly recurring or your core product. The reason I have that in place is because it's different stages of progression, and the 8-week program is something very small that people can commit to. Because normally when we work with people, they're going to need something like 6 months worth of work, especially if someone, say, wanted to lose 30 kilos, which quite commonly I had that as a physique coach. You had this thing where people want to lose 30 kilos and you're saying, well, it's going to take 6 months. And because it's such a long time, because they're looking at that, they're going to be thinking, do you know what? I'm not sure if I can really commit to this thing for 6 months. So in order to sort of get them over that first hurdle, I used to say, well, look, let's see what we can do for 8 weeks first. It's going to be highly intensive. We're going to attack it for these 8 weeks. Then we will have built the habits. You will have been eating better. You will have been training harder. You will be in the momentum, which we can then see, right, what we're going to do after that point, and then adjust it as we go. And people were more down with, yeah, I can do 8 weeks because 8 weeks I can really commit to my mind. It's only 2 months. I've got holidays here. I've got holidays there. So 8 weeks I can just about fit that in. That's great. And the thing is, once they've done that 8 weeks, and you know this as a coach because you've probably worked with hundreds of people, or if you haven't, you will find this out, is that when people get over that initial 8 weeks, they have a different mindset as approach to you because they now trust you. You can get results for them. They've seen that you can get results for them. So they're going to be more committed to doing a longer term coaching with you. It's better for them. It's better for you. They get better results, and then you get a client for the long term you can really do some really great things with. But if you're always jumping into this long-term 6-month product, it's quite a big commitment for people. 8 weeks is a smaller commitment, and they can get some really good results, which they can then see they're going to get longer results with. And this is why I talk about upfront and split payments. So for the 8-week Kickstarter program, I normally advise coaches to have like a set price for that. So it's normally, let's say for example, it's $399 for the 8 weeks, and then they move into their monthly recurring product, which is like $150. So the monthly recurring becomes less than the upfront product. And clients can pay for the 8-week program either upfront in one payment, or they can split it over 2 or 3 payments, however they want to do it. However, what I normally do is say the split payment should be slightly more than the upfront payment. So say if it's like $399 for the upfront payment, then you want something like 2 lots of $210 for the split payment. And normally people are okay with that because they appreciate they're paying over time, they're not paying up front. And that's how most things, payments over time, are sold. Okay, so number 6, money back guarantees. Should you use them or not? I'm in two minds about this. There's the one camp about this is that, look, if you're really confident as a coach and you know you can get results for people and you offer them a money back guarantee, so best case scenario, worst case scenario, best case scenario, you get the body of your dreams and you look in fantastic shape, great. Worst case scenario, you don't get any results and you ask me for a refund within 30 days and I'll fully refund your money to you. I have used that approach before. But the key thing for me here is that if I'm working one-to-one with somebody, I'm going to make sure that I have a very rigorous interview process, a good amount of time spent with that person determining if I can help them and going over a strategy with them to do that and to make sure we're both agreed what we're going to do before we actually talk about any sort of money. In that case, then that client should be committed, you should be committed, and you're both going to be working very hard on getting this result. I'm going to be spending a lot of my hours on working with that client, working with that person. If they then decide not to put the work in, even though I know they could get the results if they did put the work in, I'm going to feel very annoyed if I put all that time into it. And after 30 days, they go, do you know what? Now I'm going to want my money back. So for one-to-one coaching, I generally say no, I don't normally have a money back guarantee. But for group coaching, I do offer that. And the reason is because group coaching generally, well, it is more people coming in at one time. There's generally less of a price point so that more people can afford it. And you've generally got this thing where you're not going to speak to most of these people in a one-to-one capacity for very long before they buy. A lot of the times when you're selling group programs, it might just be from a landing page on a website. In which case, you wouldn't have had time to really go into it and say, yeah, these are definitely the people I want to work with. And you wouldn't have been able to filter out people who are maybe going to be bad fits. So you offer the money back guarantee as a sort of post-filtering process so that people can buy. If they don't get the results, say, that's no problem. If in 30 days you don't get any results or they don't get the results you wanted, I'll refund your money, not a problem. And the reason this is more applicable to groups is that when you are running a group program, the energy you're spending, the hours you're spending are one-to-many rather than one-to-one. So it doesn't matter if, say, if you've got a group of, say, 30 people and 2 people are not getting the results and they decide to leave, you've spent the same amount of energy in that group getting the other clients the results they want. So you haven't lost any time by offering this money back guarantee. So that's why I say for one-to-one programs, I probably wouldn't offer a one-to-one guarantee, but you would spend more time filtering those clients to be sure they are the perfect clients for you. And in group programs, I do offer a money back guarantee just for the fact that I can't talk to all of the people who come onto my group programs at length to determine if they are absolutely perfect clients. I have to hopefully make sure the landing page does some of that for me, the price does some of that for me, and my content on social media does some of that for me by attracting the right people. If you are getting a lot of people activating their money back guarantee, you really need to look at who you're attracting, is the product right for them, and the delivery of that product. And those are the 3 core principles of Build. Happy to talk to you about that if you drop me a message or a comment below. Okay, so number 7 is something that's a bit of a bugbear of mine, which is don't offer the I'll work with you until you do guarantee. This is something I've seen a lot of, especially in group programs, where they say, look, if you don't get the results you want, if you don't get to 10K per month, if you don't get to 10 kilos off, then we'll work with you until you do get that. For me, that's a cop-out, because 99% of the time, this is done in a group program. And it's for the exact same reason that I've just outlined before in terms of the money-back guarantee, is that it doesn't cost that coach anything else to have one more client stay in their program and continue doing all the things, all the wrong things, or not doing anything at all. And they're saying, oh, we'll work with you until you do. What they mean is you can stay in my group and still get no results, but it doesn't cost us anything in terms of time or money. And actually, we've saved money by not offering you a money back guarantee in 30 days. So I don't agree with the work with you until you do guarantee. I think it's a cop out. I think it's a way of saying, look, I'm not really that confident my coaching is going to help you, but I need some money. So please buy. And if you don't get the results, yeah, you can stay in the group and we'll work with you in terms of not actually working with you in a one-to-one capacity until you do get these results. It might be eventually that these people do get to their target, but it might be several years down the line if they haven't given up by that time. And my experience, certainly of talking to coaches who've been with this work with you until you do guarantee, is that they just get tired and frustrated with that program and they just leave of their own accord. And certainly that's, I think, what the sort of the guru coaches are banking on, is that you won't make any trouble and you'll just leave. But they can say, hey, we said we're going to work with you until you do, and they decided to leave. So I don't believe in it. I think it's a really sort of an unethical way to offer a guarantee, because it's not a guarantee at all. Excuse me there. Okay, so those are the 7 key points about pricing. I said there was a bonus at the end, and the bonus is that I looked into some of the research on this pricing end in the 7 thing. And there's a bit of research that's been done on this. And the thing that kept popping up was some work done by Marlene Jensen, who's the author of a couple of books, including Setting Profitable Prices. And what she found is that if you set a price at a 7, that generally tends to result in a better sale, because you might logically think, okay, it's 3 pence, 3 cents, if whatever currency you're in, off the full price. But then 9 didn't do as well as 7, which is strange. It's just slightly off. So 7 was the best performing on that. 9 was the second after that, and 3 was the worst performing. And anything that was in like an even number, so 2, 4, 6, 8, didn't do as well as any of the odd numbers. So that's interesting. The other interesting thing that was noticed was there's this thing called supermarket pricing, and supermarket pricing is the £1.97 or £3.47. That's called supermarket pricing in the industry, apparently. And supermarket pricing did better for women, but rounding prices did better for guys. So if your market is generally guys, you probably want to charge a rounded price, such as £100. If you're charging more for women, then you're going to be better off at £99.99. Now, the reason why supermarkets or supermarket pricing is used throughout the industries is that women generally tend to outbuy men by 5 to 1. Now, I can believe that because my girlfriend spends an absolute ton on Amazon and Vinted and all these things that keep coming to the house, and they've got my once a month thing that pops in from Amazon Prime. So yeah, I can 100% believe that. But what it means is that if you look at your market and you are selling mainly to women or men, you might want to adjust your pricing away from the 7 if it's more women that you're selling to. Okay, hope that was helpful for your pricing strategy. I don't really do outros, so I'll see you on the next video. Bye for now.